Breaking news. Make on hear the reason why Nigeria and its allies should be suspended from the Commonwealth. The reason is very, very simple. That is what we are going to discuss in this very particular video and also this very particular broadcast. But before I continue with everything I have to tell you, my people, let me first of all say thank you for believing in me, for subscribing to my channel, for liking, commenting, and also following up to every of my video. I must say this from the bottom of my heart. Even if you are not subscribed, but you are watching and you are commenting, may the good Lord bless you. And anytime you needed help, I pray that help must surely surface from nowhere. May God meet you at every point of your need. Every hand that types amen at the comment section, I tell you that this month will never pass you by. I'm not a prophet, but that is what my spirit tells me to do this morning. As long as you believe in what you are doing, as long as you believe in your handwork, believe it, my dear brother, my dear sister, there must be a turnaround of things in your life. Kidnappers, bandits, unknown gunmen or no godmen, unknown bishops, unknown native doctors, even unknown academic qualified peoples will never see your back, my dear. This month shall be a month for you to celebrate, and other months ahead. You will suddenly, you must surely forget the pain of the past and embrace the goodness that comes with the future. Onye nwụrụ anwụ amara ife ọ na-eme isi, no be say we dey mock ndị nwụrụ anwụ, but whichever way it is, my dear, your future is bright and it shall be well with you. That is my prayers for you people. Please let us go straight to the reason why we are here. If you get this message, help me share it, because everybody need to know the reason why. In fact, they are about to suspend them, not even the reason. The Commonwealth is about to suspend Nigeria because of what? Because of the issue of Mazi Nnamdi Kanu and the genocide that been perpetrated in the southeastern part of the country. The ethnic cleansing that they have taken it as part of their agenda in this the past administration and this current administration. That is why you see they are not working anything, because the time they're supposed to work for their so-called Nigeria, they will use it to be looking for Biafrans, their leaders, who comment anything on Facebook, who say anything or did not say anything. They went to arrest that person. Imagine how they arrested the Ezigbo na Ajao Estate. What that man said, does it in any way relate to or go closer to what MC Olomo did, or what MC Olomo said on the day of election, presidential election, and before the governorship election, that he going to cut people's hands? He said it and he perpetrated it. Only for the commissioner of Lagos State to come out to tell us we should take it as a joke. Barely few days, Ezigbo said, if the government of Nigeria and the government of Lagos State cannot protect my people from destroying their businesses every now and then, lightening their businesses at the middle of the night, that is going to invite IPOP to come and guide their shot for them. That's the only thing he said. He never invited anybody. He said they are charging him for terrorism. I'm very, very sure that his case is still at the court. So the Commonwealth now will suspend this country called Nigeria because of their impunity in dealing with the Biafrans. Biafrans have been a mandated country on its own. Whether you like it or not, either today or tomorrow, it must surely happen. They believe they can never believe it, but the way it will happen, it will be like a miracle. So my wonderful people, help me like this message, share, and do what? And comment, subscribe to my channel. Nigeria should be suspended from the Commonwealth for human rights abuses and for erosion of democratic gains through a fraudulent electoral tribunal. This message is coming from the Commonwealth Secretary General, where be Baroness Patricia, Scotland, my brother. People, we join hand in this letter. Nigeria is finished. The Baroness Patricia, Scotland, we say, Madam SG, or Secretary General, I am a member of the Commonwealth, an investigative journalist, a Pan-African by birth, an international activist, and international watchman who defend millions of the voiceless citizens. Therefore, what happens in any Commonwealth nation affects me. I was born in Uganda and I reside in United Kingdom, the headquarters of the Commonwealth. Therefore, a better Commonwealth is a S plus to me, according to this Ugandan-born investigative journalist. Madam Secretary General, you and I have struggled for people's rights across the globe. In 1998, as the Attorney General You were instrumental in the formation of ICC to watch against human rights abuses in the world. In Britain, we belong to the same party of Labour Party, which I have voted for 3 decades, Madam SG. You and I have struggled for the people's rights across the globe, according to the news we get here. Madam SG, Nigeria, with a population of over 220 million people, have been a front gate for the entire Commonwealth and Africa. But something is very strange. It has never worked before and is not working now, and it may not work in the future unless a miracle comes in this country called Nigeria. Madam SG, since 1996, there has been a loss of democracy and latent encouragement of destruction of human rights in Nigeria, and now from 2010 Nigeria has become a heaven of terrorists, killings, abduction of people, rampant corruption, and now judiciary electoral fraud that could breed violence in the country, and also the deprivement of the section of the country, called the Biafra region, according to this writer. They have been deprived and marginalized for a very long time, and a genocidal war is going on, being perpetrated by the state government and the federal government. Madam SG, you are a QC, quality control, and you have been before many courtrooms in the world. It is in the doctrine of good law that an election petition needs to be approached differently from other litigation, because it is not a dispute between the individual parties at court, but between each party at court and the entire country represented by the population that voted in the election. Madam SG, any tribunal or court applying technicalities in election petition adjudication commits an act of punishing the entire country for filing errors made by legal counsels. This certainly has no bearing with justice, fairness, and good conscience. Madam SG, it is an people application of legal punctuation errors to favor vested interests other than the people themselves. In democracy, election of leaders must emanate from the choice of the people, whatever concluded at the polls or decided in the courtroom. The court in Abuja slaughtered all the rules of legal fraternity the day they said they have to uphold the election or the victory of the so-called Bola Ahmed Tinubu. Madam SG, I want to inform you that I attended the Chatham House meeting where the INEC chairperson described to the entire world how wonderful the preparation for the February 2023 elections were to be. I've also read the report of Commonwealth Observer team, and I concluded that Nigeria needs to be called out for human abuses. Madam SG, but democratic justice can only be done at the election petition when the judges focus on asserting the will of the people already expressed in the disputed elections from the evidence presented before it, not on any legal punctuation error, aka technicalities. Madam SG, the Commonwealth law is very clear. It was said that the 5 judges rely on technicalities for election petition rulings that throws up winners that suffer illegitimacy crisis that ultimately bear negatively on the country. This includes the courts and the entire judicial system. Madam SG, it should be noted that in the recent times in Nigeria, you hear of expressions like Supreme Court Governor or Supreme Court Senator, etc. These are people's voices of rejection for such individuals, affirming that they were not elected by them but imposed on them by the court. Madam SG, Bola Ahmed Tinubu is a tribunal president, not people's elected president. This of course debases the cause and reduces the confidence of the people in the judiciary, and very little further encourage electoral violence and conflict by the desperate politicians who will fight at all costs in the field, since they no longer trust the cohorts or the courts to look at the petitions on based on merit, according to the writer. Madam SG, it has become a norm that employing technicalities in election petition adjudication is an easy way to compensate bad acts with good rewards. It is a way to encourage bad people with lots of money to venture into politics and grab power, knowing that even if they cannot win the people's acceptance and votes, they can do so with violence, and then rely on the court to validate their roguery. Madam, this done with the gavel by simply inducing it to look for a technical error in the petitioners, filing upon which to kill the possibility of hearing the substantial issues in the petition. It is a recipe for enabling emergence of leaders who have no compassion for the citizens, nor feel they owe anyone the duty of accountability. No country in the Commonwealth can make meaningful development this way, and that is why the country keep on dying every now and then. Madam, if good conscience, honesty, integrity, and democratic principles are elements for assessing the ruling of the Nigeria's 2023 presidential election petition court, then it will in no way pass the test of democratic worthless of the cause not worth celebrating. Madam SG, there are those celebrating it. For whatever reason, I don't know. Nevertheless, it is only a matter of time before those who celebrate become victims of the components of such an anti-people legal validation of an obvious outcome of a fraudulent process. The judiciary owes Nigeria and humanity a duty to rectify the wrong of this ruling. The onus lies on the higher court to either reset this normalization of the abnormal or sustain it. Madam SG, whichever way the higher court adjudicates in future, all Nigerians of goodwill and conscience that have remained resolute standing with the truth, especially those going through persecutions for that sake, must keep their faces up and celebrate their courage in standing with the truth at the time they are the most endangered species in Nigeria. Nigeria's social political economy. Madam SG, north or south, east or west, truth is truth. It does not change. In the man that truth dies, living is nothing less than a putrid existence. To turn the truth into a lie for money is to have sold one's soul and essence at that amount. Well, Madam SG, your team of observers might have seen what they wanted to see or observe, but under the circumstances that prevailed and the way the courts have shown the world true colors of justice, I personally will not hide behind the cloak of fake patriotism to ask people to move on in error. Madam SG, you as a senior counsel of highest bar, you know it well that no good will ever come from persistence in error. Error plus error is more error. To think that abundant good will sprout from bad is nothing but a delusion. Nemo that quaid non abet. No one can give what they don't have. Madam SG, Zimbabwe was suspended from the Commonwealth on alleged grounds of fraudulent election in 2002. Why has the Commonwealth not reprimanded Nigeria for all the bad deeds of election fraud and abuse of human rights using the judiciary? Madam SG, I draw your attention to the fact Nigeria is the only country in the Commonwealth still holding political prisoners on triumph charges up now. Madam SG, why have you in your own capacity as SG of the Commonwealth not intervened to ask why a man is kidnapped from one Commonwealth country to another and the Commonwealth is silent on the matter? That is the issue. No be them, be the same Commonwealth. Any law they are making that will not benefit them or favor them, they will not do it. Madam SG, I have written this open letter to alert you about the deteriorating human rights records in both Nigeria and Cameroon, Biafra and Ambazonia, that are member states of the Commonwealth. Britain, the head of the Commonwealth, stands for the values of humanity, it cannot head an organization which watches of human rights abuses and call itself a Commonwealth of Nations. They are not. Madam SG, this letter seeks to remind you about the time of campaign for the first time of the office, where our core value was to bring peace and harmony to the nations of Commonwealth. It is a letter to make my position clear that most of us campaigned for you in the African Commonwealth because we wanted accountability in the Commonwealth. Madam SG, in conclusion, I put it to the public that Nigeria's May 2023 election was a sham, and if the Commonwealth gave it legitimacy, then God is the savior for all of us. Such a democratic deficit could bring up a future conflict for the leading Commonwealth state in Africa. Madam SG, Nigeria should have been suspended from the Commonwealth for eroding the very principles of democratic foundation that Commonwealth stands for. The weak oversight rules have led to the destruction of democratic space in most Commonwealth states of Africa. Madam SG, perhaps the Commonwealth should think of starting civic education on matters of democracy and elections in most Commonwealth Africa. Apart from Tanzania and South Africa, where tensions have been low on presidential laws due to the use of simple majority systems, other states with 50+1 systems have had rough after elections. Madam SG, I leave a question for you and those who will read this historical letter. In Nigeria, 94 million registered voters were recorded by INEC. Out of this, 68 million people did not come out to vote, and only about 26 cast their vote. The record of 5 judges who were appointed by the ruling party sat and decided a matter of universal suffrage of over 220 million people on a technicality, not on substance. So where is the rationale? God bless Commonwealth if they are worthy of it. And I hear them, and I don't hear them, that the Commonwealth now is about to do what? To take stand. Only if the UK will agree, because UK is the head of the Commonwealth and they decide on what happens. If UK say they cannot intervene on the case of Mazi Nnamdi Kanu because of because of some certain areas, okay, let me take it that way. Mazi Nnamdi Kanu is a UK citizen by obtaining their passport. Then what happened to the UK not to attend to this issue based on the Commonwealth ground? But they refuse, they keep silent. Because why? Because they have eaten the forbidden fruit. Maybe they have increased the number of barrels of oil they siphon or tip from our land on daily basis. And all is coming from Biafra land. Yes, the Middle Belt is Biafra. Our backyard of Hajeboma is Biafra. Plus other areas that will have oil that they are siphoning. And UK was silent. As if they don't know what is happening. As if they don't know that Mazi Nnamdi Kanu was kidnapped. As if they don't know that the so-called Nigerian government under the reign of Muhammadu Buhari defied all laws, both national and international, to kidnap a citizen of UK and brought it back from one Commonwealth country to another Commonwealth country, which they have a simple principle that guide the two countries. And you want us to keep silent. And you want us not to talk about the Biafran independence or Biafran referendum or Biafran freedom. Because the marginalization have reached to the extent that even the people there, even the people who are championing all these things are crying and said, why? Enough is enough. It is the high time that the UK or whatever they call them do something about this marginalization and the genocidal and the ethnic cleansing going on in the southeast, simply because Mazi Nnamdi Kanu, they want to try everything humanly possible to make sure that they sabotage this movement. But it's not going to work. That's the simple truth. It is not going to work. Biafra stand, and Biafra will still stand anytime, any day. That the war ended, no victor, no vanquish. Biafra fought with all they have, without no support from any ally, from any Western allies. But they still succeeded today. Anyway, my wonderful people, my viewers and subscribers, I beg, if you get this message and you refuse to share it, if message I may share, you won't flave. You are a flave in short, Share this message and let everybody get to know what is happening and why Nigeria should suspend to be suspended from the Commonwealth. Have a nice day. May good Lord bless you all. As you share this message, like, comment, and make sure you subscribe to my channel for a better videos coming, because I'm be back again with another blockbuster. Have a nice day and bye for now. Kemesiano.